Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Drink While You Think. I'm your co-host, Kenji. He is,
I'm Matthew.
and we got our buddy Ryan here with us, joining us from cold, snowy Minnesota. So, hey, man, Ryan, glad to have you, dude.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on with you up in the Twin Cities, and tell us about, what you're working on these days with Chargeover.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I guess this week we're trying to keep the keyboards defrosted so everybody can get their development work going and not ice up here. We've been sub-zero temperatures for the last week or so, and it's made it a little bit tough to get out and about.
Man, that's two back-to-back guests we've had now in extremely cold weather, between Canada and I guess right there a stone's throw away from Canada. We should probably be a little more thankful, shouldn't we, Matthew, for our temps.
I thought it was kind of chilly today because it got down in the 40s here. So I would die by you, man. I would just.
That'd be brutal. That'd be brutal. Hey, what are you drinking today? What do you got before we get into things? What you keeping warm with?
Today I'm having one of my favorites that a neighbor had turned on to me. I have Staying Current by Black Stack here in St. Paul.
Nice.
It's delicious, and it is a double dry hopped double IPA, and this is actually a collaborative one that they have done with two other breweries here.
Nice.
If you notice on the bottom, there's like a couple added logos there.
Oh, added logos.
Nice.
Like, you gotta love the collaboration. Very nice. Very nice.
And these guys are awesome. They're somehow churning out just a massive variety of beer. They have 1 to 2 new beers coming out every week, and that's exciting to look forward to.
I love
That's
that.
That's what you do is to drink beer, not in the cold, right? That's what you do. That's how
You do.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're going to tell our viewers what Matthew and I are drinking, since Ryan told you what he is. And I got to show. This is kind of a special thing we're doing here, because let me first kind of show you. I've lined them up. Look at this. You can kind of see this is half. A box showed up yesterday at my house, and this is just half of them because Matthew's got the other half of all the beer. There's cocktails. Oh, Matthew, we're going to have to split this. Coffee, liqueur. All this from the Chargeover team. Dude, this is incredible. Like, this is by far the best gift we've ever received. I'm hereby declaring you guys, whether you want to or not, as our newest sponsor of Drink While You Think. We'll have
awesome.
you guys as our Chargeover as the title sponsor, at least until Matthew and I finish these beers. So we got some episodes, a number of episodes. We're going to be drinking these and shouting you guys out. That was a super, super awesome gift. Thanks to you and the team for sending those our way. It's going to be fun to get into these. While we're selecting these, I guess, Matthew, which one?
I picked which one I'm going with. I'm
Okay.
going
Oh, yeah.
The Great Black Stage Bake Off, which is a blackberry French toast fruit beer.
Nice.
Also from Black Stack. Are these all from Black Stack, Ryan?
There's Black Stack, and there's also another one.
There's a couple of other ones in there. Modest is another
brewery
right in downtown Minneapolis.
Nice.
That's pretty solid, and
Well,
just some of the popular options.
When you said Black Stack, I was glad I picked the Black Stack out when you had said that. So that's awesome. So.
Yeah, and they do some really
which one are you going to drink?
Funky stuff.
I think I'm going to go. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to drink with Ryan here. I'm going to also go with the Staying Current right there. That's kind of cool when you can always share a beer, same beer with one of your friends remotely here. So I'm going to go with this. So yeah, super exciting that we've got our first sponsor. We'll call it. Why you think? Also. I guess the cool part about that is, we've known you guys for a long, long time, and we've used you guys for our billing system. So it's kind of one of these where it's like, it's Matthew and I, anyone who's going to send us beer, we're happy to make time for, but especially we've known you guys for a long time, and you guys came in, and we do all of our billing and subscription work through you guys. We have for years. So that's awesome. Thank you much for that. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheers.
All right, oh man, that's awesome. That is really good. That is a flavor explosion right there. I'm a huge fan of that already. Oh, Matthew, for some reason, if you don't want yours, you can send it my way. This one's great.
Oh, the IPA.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
We can negotiate later, depending on after I have a chance to digest what all I got. So
Yeah,
Cool.
look forward to
Well,
a report. See what you guys
Yeah.
see how everything's stacking up against each other.
There you
that
go.
sounds great.
Well, give us I mean, you mentioned being up in Minnesota. What's the tech scene like up there? I mean, are you guys kind of unusual being kind of a tech company there, or no? Is there actually a pretty decent tech scene going on?
Yeah, there's a really vibrant tech scene
Mhm.
going on here. There's a lot of healthcare focused apps with some of the large healthcare companies here. But then we also have like, Target headquarters here, Best Buy and Medtronic. So they have some incubators that are helping a lot of startups get off the ground, and they're really providing great resources to them.
Oh, interesting. The only other, and knew some of those names of companies headquartered there. I was thinking about in the accounting profession, the only other Minnesota like accountants I can really think of is I think you guys know Karen Woodman. Karen's up in, but she's in Hibbing. So that's up north. I mean, that's up there. I think, is that right? Hibbing's way up like.
Yeah, Hibbing is up there. It's a toss up between making the drive or hopping on a small plane to get up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife grew up in Minnesota. And so when I mentioned I have a friend of mine who's in Hibbing, she was like, oh my gosh. She's like, yeah, she's always expecting when I run into someone from Minnesota, it's going to be someone from the Twin Cities. But she's like, oh no, Hibbing, that's like legit, like Iron Range area. So shout out to Karen, one of our friends, also Minnesota accountant. I mean, it sounds like you've been in payments for a while. How'd you get started with Chargeover? Like how did you and Keith get it going?
Yeah, it's an interesting story, actually. Keith and I had met as co-founders online on a Intuit form, trying to solve some development challenges of getting data into QuickBooks a number of years ago. And then both of the companies that we were involved in at the time, those other ventures, had a need for subscription billing. And we were taking a look at the other options that were available out there. And having that development background, we just really didn't find anything that was giving us the flexibility that we were looking for. So we ended up building a solution for those companies.
That actually kind of rolls into another question, because one thing I don't think I had ever heard that origin story with you and Keith, but like the thing that kind of always is interesting to me was like, well, you guys have always had such a focus on the accounting industry, right? And I think we all met at QuickBooks Connect. You guys have been in a bunch of those. We kind of seen you there. And if I remember right, like you guys were the only really subscription recurring billing solution I ever saw, like at QuickBooks Connect. So I never did know the genesis of like, why did you guys pick accounting as kind of a vertical of some sense? But it sounds like because you guys were already kind of within a little bit of the ecosystem already. Is that accurate?
Right. Yeah, we cut our teeth getting data into QuickBooks initially, back in the day, prior to some of the APIs and the open systems that were available to exchange information. Like getting data into QuickBooks was a challenge, and so we built a lot of custom tools for some businesses to get data in there, and then ran with the automation side of things on the subscription billing piece too.
When did you guys add Xero? Because I know you're also on Xero as well.
That is a great question. Xero has been around for a long time as well. I know within the past couple of years, we just recently were published publicly to their App Center or their marketplaces out there. Yeah, but we've been out there for a number of years as well. Good chunk of customers using both platforms. Yeah.
I don't know, Matthew, you remember when we made the switch, when or why we made the switch?
I do remember why we made it. I don't remember who. I won't even name the people before, but
call them out, man. It's okay. I mean,
they moved us from a fixed fee billing to a percentage of revenue billing, and they were going to do it like overnight. And
just Chargeify.
Yeah, I was going to be nice.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I was just going to ignore them. So Chargeify like completely abandoned all its historical customers and changed their business model and how they charged, and so we did the search on what's the best one. It turns out it wasn't them. It was you guys. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah, I
So
think it's like, we were, and I think it was
pissed.
unusual, right? Because there weren't that many probably accountants doing as much recurring billing as we were and things like that. It was a little unusual. So when that switched, we were on Chargeify because we just had heard of them and they were kind of big in the space. And then when all of a sudden it was like, yep, we're going to go and hit you with a percentage of revenue or transactions. It was like, whoa, hold on a sec. That changed it dramatically. And then isn't that the way that most of them are still doing it? Like, isn't like ChargeB and Recurly, aren't they all still like percentages of actual like revenue?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the other ones are taking a percentage of revenue, and you kind of just add that on top of your credit card processing fees and everything, and it's it starts to get up there pretty high.
That's exactly. I mean, I think that's exactly why it drove us crazy, is because you're like, wait a minute, this is on top of already the merchant processing fees you're already paying. So it just becomes like, next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, this gets to be a lot. So yeah, that was it's never easy switching, billing and systems and things like that. But I remember for us, it was like, no way are we sticking with this. But was that always part of the model, the plan to kind of price differently, or?
Yeah, I mean, that's our pricing we kind of came out with out of the gate. We've started making some modifications to it as we've advanced our product over the years. It's a very different place now than when we first started. But, we have different plans that are available for different customers, sort of based on the needs that they have and different tools and systems that they might be using.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. All right, Matthew, this is a question for you, Matthew.
Yes, sir.
Do you know, and we'll see, maybe Ryan knows too. Do you know the difference between recurring and reoccurring?
No.
No? Would you use them interchangeably? Like reoccurring revenue or reoccurring billing, or
I would not use the term reoccurring for some reason.
Just because it sounds weird?
I believe you that it's a word. That's just not the word I am familiar with. I don't know how.
And we hear it both ways too. I'm actually very curious to hear Kenji's different.
So I looked it up.
Interpretations of it.
Yeah, I looked it up because I was like, I think I try to always do a little bit of some looking around and work on that before we prep this. And I was like, I saw somewhere someone had described you guys as a reoccurring billing system. I'm like, what's a reoccurring? I'm like, that just sounds kind of wrong. Like, then I was like, wait a minute, are we all just so used to like SaaS and the way that we talk in like our space that like we've shortened it to recurring, and that's all I looked it up, and the difference actually is reoccurring is something that does repeat, but not on a set schedule. So that's our difference, right? Obviously, we're talking recurring being like it repeats on a set time frame schedule. So reoccurring. So anyone who calls you again, I can't remember.
Oh, so reoccurring is like our schedule for dropping these videos.
yeah, exactly. There's no consistency.
Okay, drink while you think is a reoccurring
Correct.
YouTube.
It will happen again. On what time frame?
We will have it again.
Who the hell knows?
Next week, maybe not, depending if Kenji remembers to hit record. Like it's always hit or miss with that.
Yeah.
So.
But if you would actually like your bills or subscriptions to happen on time, you use Chargeover, then it gets it as actually recurring. So anyway, okay. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that.
And we do address that reoccurring aspect of it too, which is kind of a different area. Anything, whether it's recurring on a consistent schedule or not, there are cases where, hey, we're taking payment week, and then push it off a few months, and you can build out a custom schedule. It doesn't always have to be.
So you guys do
same day of the month.
Yeah, you guys are actually recurring and reoccurring.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. It's good things to know that.
We're the only recurring and reoccurring solution I know now.
You're both of these. Let's see. I guess maybe I'll throw another one here back to Matthew. Like when we think about as firm owners or just people running firms, that's probably outside of, we say that like it's probably our our friends, parents occasionally watch this ridiculous drink while you think. It's probably other firm owners, right? And so I guess the question would be, how involved, I mean, how involved are we getting these days? How involved should accountants and firms be in like helping people with payments, right? I mean, and granted, there's so many different components of it, and Ryan knows it better than we do, but like, do you think we're seeing that as a firm, or do you think we should be, or do you think other firms should be looking at like, we got to be helping clients better with payment mechanisms? He's thinking, oh, Matthew froze up for a second.
Well,
he was thinking so hard.
I froze.
yeah.
I froze on you, and I heard half of the question. So,
Should accountants be consulting and working with clients on things like payments? I mean, I think people have been used to writing checks, but like,
I think it's just getting more and more important generally to work with, technologies that integrate well with other technologies, and you guys have done a great job with that, Ryan. Working with us and our team to like make sure that like all the solutions we pick for our clients, kind of work together and stuff like that. That's a huge part of it. But I think there's also a part of it where, just I think from the advisory side, you got to be mindful of merchant processing fees, the way people are billing, stuff like that, to know like which solutions are the best. But not, I mean, it's not in percentage billing, it's not a bad thing. It just has to be the right thing, and it has to have the functionality that you need to be able to, give that value to your customers. And I think you got to be on the tip of the spear on that as accountants.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume, Ryan, you're in the same space on that one where, I mean, I get it. I think as accounting firms, we are in a space to be able to influence and talk to business owners about financial matters. And it's certainly an area to where I think historically, and maybe we get laughed at. I think we in the US get laughed at a bit by other countries. Like, you guys are still using checks. Like, what is happening? Like, why?
Right.
I remember when Xero first came to the US, like they had to really beef up their check writing functionality because they were like, we didn't think people still did this really, And so maybe we're a little bit lagging here in the US on the way that we handle payments. Are you seeing that? I guess the sophistication that people have around electronic payments and things like recurring payments kind of increase these days, hopefully.
Yeah, a lot of our customers, I mean, they're using electronic payments already, but they just don't have a good system to overlay on top of it. And so that falls apart really quick. And then I would think as firm owners, you're trying to deliver information to the businesses. And so it's really important that you have full continuity between the day-to-day revenue operations. And if a refund's made or something like that, how does that trickle through the system and change the reports that you're looking at to offer guidance on those companies?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, we handle manual payments as well, and do still see a good share of those. Allows companies to slow down the payment process and slow cash going out the door.
Yeah. I mean, I guess on that end of it, if you're on the other end, it's a payable side, you're trying to like manage the cash flow there and trying to, checks in the mail, or it's certain but it is getting to be something where it's more antiquated. I think that I used to hear more often, I feel like people say, well, I'd rather have, people writing checks versus taking credit cards as the one, because that 2 or 3% fee there, like I'd rather, I want to save on that. And there's probably some case to where you really have to look at, and to your point earlier about the merchant fees, if you're using a subscription service that like is also percentage of revenue, it can get up there quite a bit. But I don't know, historically, I've typically seen where people's write-offs of receivables and other issues are much more of a big deal, like the timing of it and having to write things off. Like you're like, man, chasing around a couple percentage points doesn't feel like it should keep you from using electronic payments. And certainly now you guys have built in, we've used for a long time, your ACH payments, which certainly cut rates down and such. But I don't know. Hopefully more and more people are moving that direction. But I hear less people kind of give that. I don't know about you, Matthew, or anyone else. Like less people give that whole thing. Like, well, I don't want to pay the 2 or 3% these days. I think people are more like, just give me the cash quick. So,
A lot of that.
Yeah, and just the the overhead and administrative work, taking those manual payments, collecting them, and everything. It's just
Yeah.
Those
uh,
are, those are
if you're
hidden costs.
starting to move fast, exactly. That's what
Yeah.
really scales. Or that phone call of a customer back into you to pay over via credit card over the phone. There's a whole experience aspect of it that you're delivering to your customers too.
There's a security aspect to that too, as well. Like
Absolutely.
I mean, people still write down credit card numbers, and instead of logging them in the system where they can be protected and logged, and you don't have to do that. It's always something nowadays, right?
I hadn't really thought about it from the experience standpoint, but I think you make a good point on that, because it's a little bit, maybe unfortunately, of showing our age, like people don't really want to get on and talk that much, right? So a collections call or all this, like they want a quick and easy way. Like, okay, fine, I'm past doing my bill. Send me something so I can just go enter the credit card or the bank ACH information. Let me be done with it, right? So that's a better experience. Even, okay, let's say a client is going through hardship and need some help, or they're a little delayed. I mean, it's giving them an easy way to go pay, a portal to go into and self-pay, right? We've got that ability to you guys. That's what people want these days. They don't want the like phone calls coming or the nasty letters and things coming in. So it's interesting because it is tough when you have to chase around AR, but there is a way to do it that like is not just completely, pummeling somebody. So.
And you think about it from a customer portal perspective. I mean, businesses and individuals want to be self-powered. Like if they have a question about their invoicing data, to be able to go log in and just look at it for themselves instead of being bottlenecked through an email or a phone conversation just to dig at some past charges.
Absolutely. I'll shift gears here a little bit, and this is what Matthew and I typically do. Once we get kind of accounting, we kind of nerd out a little bit on whatever topic we're going to go to. We end up going into then things that we're more
passionate about.
Passionate about. And I'll just say, the Atlanta Falcons was a really terrible football team this year. It was awful. However, we did actually get one win this year. One of our actual wins was against the Vikings. It was actually one of our, I think it was the Raiders we completely beat up on, but it was the Vikes. We actually, looked like a respectable team.
Did we put up a 40 spot on the Vikings?
We won by, it was a double digit.
10 points,
listen,
10 points a quarter. It was
Matthew, listen, we actually got a win against it, which was unbelievable, but it was a double digit win. But also I think what happened was that was earlier in the season. Then I think the Vikes actually played pretty well. They got a little bit hot and they ran some off in a row. But I don't know, man. How you feeling about the Vikes going into next year?
Yeah,
I should have asked. I'm making a terrible assumption that okay, everyone like us of their city is a football fan. Are you a Vikings fan?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a Vikings fan. I did grow up in Chicago prior to moving here, so there is occasionally fighting between the Bears and Bears.
Well,
that's
and tough. That's a division rivalry right there. That's a little tough. And I grew up a Bears fan as well too, growing up as well. So, but interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely a humbling experience, I guess we'll say, that the Falcons put on the Vikes.
Well, I don't know.
Are you guys feeling good about next year?
Yeah, I think there's the quarterback situation here about the Vikes, and I think there's a little bit of turmoil with Zimmer and what he's thinking in terms of the direction, and but I would say it's got to be a toss up at this point.
Yeah. I was going to say Cousins, I don't know. He's a little interesting to see whether or not he's going to pan out or not. So a little bit of quarterback. There's that, I can't remember the guy's name, but I know there's that wide receiver, that rookie wide receiver you guys have who was just a beast. But anyway, deep, not a bad team, but this is what Matthew and I do once we start getting, usually this is where we always digress into is other kind of random things and interests there. But I don't think we have you guys. So yeah, this was our NFC North year in 2020. But for some reason we've got Detroit on the schedule for next year, but nobody else. Why is that?
Because we got 4th place, and so did Detroit in our league. We played the We play the 4th place team in all the NFC divisions. Whoever you play, like if you get 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, you play all those teams that got those records in all the NFC divisions that you're not playing. And then you play one full division of NFC and one full division of AFC, and then your people twice. So I don't remember what's next year for us. Do you know which division we're playing?
We've got AFC North.
So we'll play AFC North, and then we'll play.
I thought we had NFC East.
So we'll play NFC East, AFC North, and then we'll play each of the other 2 NFC divisions. We'll play the 4th place team. So the Lions.
Okay. I'll take your word on it. I guess so. Yeah, I guess all us losers like the Lions.
And then whoever got last in that Seattle, Rams, Arizona, San Fran division.
Okay.
So we'll get the last.
And so
the last place team there.
I didn't realize that they're out with the next year's opponent matchups already.
I haven't seen.
Yeah, they don't have the schedule, but they've got the matchups.
The matchups
are out. Matchups all ahead. As soon as you get your place in the division, they know pretty much the matchup is the formula. So,
but they don't. You're not the division though. You don't know which division you're going to get, do you?
I think they have a schedule. They're on a rotation.
Oh, do they? I don't know. Matthew's very into this.
NFC one is just like three rotations. Like
we're gonna do with Matthew at some point. We're gonna do like Matthew's way into this, Ryan. Like we're gonna do. It's probably gonna have to be like a 12-part series of this where he explains how cap space works and all this kind of stuff. It's very it's just. Yeah, it gets ridiculous. It gets absolutely ridiculous. But
and so I know the Vikings had lost one of our border rivalries here, I believe, due to those changing.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's kind of an interesting way to play it, but that's a stadium. I've always wanted to come up there. I know you guys got a new stadium. We have again, my wife from being from up there. We have a ton of family in Minnesota. And I'll say that, so as I'm kind of finishing up the bit of this beer, like this for me was, I've had some other Minnesota experiences, not being a native there, but because we've gone up there on occasion for things. And so my only other Minnesota kind of memorable drinking experience was I've been to the Minnesota State Fair and I consumed fairly large quantities of cheese curds, Tom Thumb donuts, and Primo beer. And again, I guess they call it Primo, but I guess it's a different name, premium beer. But yeah, it was in, and I think it took me about a week.
That'd be Grain Belt, I guess.
That would be Grain Belt.
Yeah,
it was Grain Belt. Yeah, it took me a little while to recover from just all the things that happened at the Minnesota State Fair, but that was quite the experience. And thankfully, this is a much better beer than Primo was. So,
yeah, the something food related on a stick is usually the theme of the Minnesota State Fair.
If you can fry it, put it on a stick. Yeah, it is.
You bet.
One of those that had a great time for it. Honestly, it was fantastic. But I mean, I'm serious, man. You guys are now the official. At least until we get through all these beers, again that I showed, you guys are going to be the Chargeover is going to be the title sponsor. We got to get through all that. We got to get through all this booze. We've just given out the secret formula, everyone. You want to come and sponsor this amazing video podcast. You gotta try to bring some game over what Chargeover did, because Ryan and team are now the title sponsor of this until we can get through all this beer. Right, Matthew?
I'm going to change my name to Matthew Chargeover May.
Oh, whoa!
That's huge.
Oh, you're getting aggressive here. That blackberry French toast Black Stack must be kind of hitting you hard, huh?
It's only a 7%er. So the stouts I have usually take me down, but it's a pint. So
Yeah. Ryan and I are 8.9% on this guy. So,
Kenzie's a lightweight. That's gonna.
no, you know that's not true. He doesn't want to go head to head with me on things. So, this was great, Ryan. I mean, I really, really do appreciate you guys and the team hooking us up with this. We appreciate, obviously, you guys honestly saving us a shitload of money on fees, on all the
How
subscription.
long have we been working together now? When did we switch over? Was it like?
I mean, could it have been 3 years ago? I remember initially it was right around the time at one of the QuickBooks Connect events that we had first
the more
met
I think about it, the more I think about it, yeah, I think it was
just right around that time.
It just happened, like literally we got the Chargeover information like in October. It was late. I don't remember what year it was, but probably about 3-4 years ago.
Well, when did you guys start?
Chargeover. I've been around for a while.
Yeah, we've been around for a while. We had started in 2010.
Yeah, I was trying to. I thought it was either 17 or 18, right? It might have been 17. It might have been 4 years.
Could have been whatever our first QuickBooks Connect was, because I remember we had just started talking to you guys and we realized you guys were going to be there at QuickBooks Connect in November. And so we just started talking. We went there and we met you guys and we kind of hung out a bit and talked, and we're like, and I think we finished the integration. We were like, we're going with this. And I think by January 1st, we'd moved everything over. So, yeah.
Yeah, there was some integration work and then just migrating systems and getting all the data and reporting shored up.
So,
cool.
Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate all the beers. We appreciate all the help you've given us over the years, over the at least 3 or 4 years here it's been. So we worked together.
Just putting up with all of our feature requests, because we're
absolutely. And I know our team,
one of the higher maintenance clients. Like we think we know everything, man. Like
everybody on our team loves working with you guys, and I mean, getting good feedback, especially from an accounting perspective, is always great. We appreciate it and love taking in that information and thinking about it. We'll have to add a new component, I guess, internally here to our think abouts. Yeah.
Well, we'll for sure. We do this all the time, is encourage other firms. Like, listen, you do want a partner, right, who knows accounting integrations, which is how you guys got started, who was willing to take the feedback for all of our weird feature requests. So we've mentioned it to others before. We'll say it here again. You got to check out Ryan and the team and Keith and the team at Chargeover. They've been a huge help to us. So we'll land this thing here and get ready. I'm gonna do a screen share on these beers here. So get ready to be thinking in your heads, gentlemen, on what it is. You're gonna rate it. Matthew, can you read off to me? You've got
the Great Black Stage Bake Off Blackberry French Toast.
Okay.
Great Black Stage Bake Off.
Okay. Blackberry French toast. Yeah, it came up.
There.
Is that it? No.
Don't do just try I think the beard name is the Great Black
Stack.
The Black Stack.
There it is.
Black Stack.
Got it.
I'm fired.
You're fired. You're fired, Matthew. Okay, so I don't want to influence you. You see, it's already got a 4.2 rating.
I know. I like the Blackberry a lot. And I am not a fan of the French toast, and I usually am. I think I'm one of those guys that like one flavor and not two. Like, because I've talked to you about this with the bourbon aged barrel with other stuff. It screws me up. So I'm gonna go 3.25. Like
3.25.
If they had left the French toast out, I would have been like in the 4 something. But the French toast brought it down for me.
Like, does it? I have to ask you this: does it really taste like French toast? Which is amazing to me. Does it taste like there's French toast like flavor truly in the?
It does. But it doesn't. The blackberry, like something's fighting the blackberry though. Whatever is fighting the blackberry is not my friend. I like the blackberry.
You want to go just the blackberry? Okay. I respect that, Matthew. That's a. Plus, I'll also say, Ryan, Matthew is typically not very adventuresome. Well, actually, he likes different, unique things, but he kind of likes what he likes. So I'm not that surprised.
Well, nothing that's not a stout gets over a 4 for me.
Jeez, Matthew. I mean, we got to get you to branch out a little bit.
Yeah, the stouts are your favorite. Should have
Stouts
known.
and
He
porters,
loves the
stouts and
stouts,
porters
loves
for me,
those.
man.
I don't know, Ryan. What are you feeling on the staying current here on this one?
I mean, for me, Black Stack being one of my favorites, like you said in the beginning, just flavor explosion. There's so much taste there.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'd have to go 4.4.
Great. I'm going to round up.
Bring
To,
their
I'm
average
going to
up.
round up to a 4.5 for the both of us. So we're both having this. That's exactly what I had in my head, was a 4.5 the whole way. This is an excellent. I mean, I just think this is an excellent. And again, I nerd out on this stuff. Like, this is a great. When you double dry hop like that, man, it just has so much citrus and stuff coming off it like that.
Did I get one of those? Did you?
Yeah,
leave
dude,
one?
you have all. I mean, again,
Oh, we each got one of
the
everything.
Chargeover team.
Yeah.
You have one of each of these things. This
Oh,
is
that's awesome.
unbelievable.
Well,
We
a lot
wanted
of
to send a
times-
good variety down there of
Oh,
everything.
yeah,
A lot of
fantastic.
A lot of times, Ryan Kinji tells me sometimes what we get.
We don't. Who else has sent us stuff? Not
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I've
Not
done
like
that too.
this.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's the other way around.
I've done that.
so,
I get the wine and he gets the beer usually shipped to him. So
which is
But we
fine
were
by
limit-
me.
We were limited by box constraints. I don't think we could fit much more in there without safely having it arrive in one piece.
Well,
I
you guys
think
had
it's
it packed.
awesome.
You guys had
It was
packed
really
in there.
appreciated. I'm really excited.
Really appreciate it.
I am going to test some of these off there too. So
It's too long. It's going to go too long for you. You can't wait for a week, can you?
I can't wait for that.
I can't either. I may. Yeah, I may have to.
I'll try. I might be able to string this out for 4 weeks though. So
I may be breaking off some of this loon liquor. I showed this to my wife the other night. She had her company happy hour, and I walked in. I'm like, look what just showed up. And she's like, what are you putting in my face? I'm like, it's a Minnesota liquor. And so right away, my Minnesota wife is like, I'm in. So I'm gonna have to try
That's
some of
awesome.
that. But again,
The coffee,
thank you,
coffee
Ryan. Yeah.
components.
Yeah.
Very versatile.
It's fantastic. You know, you can drink it for breakfast probably. You know, starting early in the morning. So.
Yeah.
Ryan, thanks to you and the Chargeover team. Really appreciate you guys being on here, sending us this, and just thanks for all the help over the years. So you guys,
Yeah,
are
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Say hi
So-
to the rest of the Acuity team from all of us here.
Will do.
do.
Thanks
Minneapolis.
everyone for jumping in and watching. And feel free to. We'll have all the information in the show notes. Reach out to me, Matthew, or Ryan if any
And
of
if
us
you
can
guys
help
don't
you.
know Chargeover, you guys should. All of our friends in the accounting world, like, you should give Ryan
Get
a
on
call
it.
and
Get on
learn
it.
about them. So
Cheers. Thanks everybody.
Love it. Great guys. Have a
Cheers,
good
guys.
weekend.
See ya.